LRBAquatics.com. Hello world, how's it going? Hope you guys are all doing great. If not, as always, I hope it gets better for you. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about aquarium plants. Some of the easy to keep ones that I have, low tech, don't need a whole lot of maintenance, and also share some how-to to make it successful for you. And just maybe show you some species that are easy to keep and not quite so common as well in these tanks. So right now I'm getting some water changes done. Let me turn you guys around here. I'm gonna have to flip this thing off. I got water running in here actually. I'll take you guys up there. Doing some water changes, got it on remote. So it's nice and easy. I can turn it off. Maybe. I gotta get down to do that. Battery's about to die in that. I'm gonna have to replace those. But anyways, first plant is up here. I want to talk to you guys about Reishi. This is Reishi flutans or fluchanes, spelled F-L-U-I-T-A-N, I believe. Reishi, R-I-C-C-I-A. It's a floater, real nice floater, great for guppies, great for endlers. Makes great coverage for fry. You can grow it underneath the water, but then it grows more green, more like dark green and more thinner. And then the next plant that's in here, this is Loelia arcuata. It's a hygrophila. It's a Loelia. And it actually grows differently in different kind of parameters. A lot of plants will do that too. So different lights will grow at different types of parameters. I often think it's mostly the lights and the mineralization. Because for instance, this is the same plant, kind of similar to what's up there. That's more low tech. That's no CO2. And then you got it in a higher light here on a T5. I do have some CO2 in here, and you can see the color on it is absolutely amazing. So you can get them really, really colorful, and they tend to get more color on them like that when they get to the highlight. So you see how much color was on there. Then you follow the plant down. You can see how the tones kind of change as it goes down, down, down. And the less light, it starts looking more like the other stuff. So I think light has a lot of factor on it. You get with the T5s, they tend to grow a lot. Like there are some LEDs that are really strong that are expensive, but with the cheaper LEDs, tend to grow it slower. And also when you trim plants, the more you trim them, the smaller they'll get as well. Which doesn't mean they'll get like so super small. They'll end up throwing, like for instance, this Rotalia colorata. This is a really easy to keep plant. Real nice color, no CO2, low tech. It'll start getting smaller, but then it'll shoot a runner usually, and then it'll start running more and more and more. Then you just keep propagating it. So like for this long stem here, you would take that stem off there, pinch it from there where it grew off this last node, and plant it beside it. And then you got another plant. Keep repeating that as it goes, and then it'll usually keep splitting out from the nodes. Then it'll create plants that you can just keep moving. Hygrophilias, lymphophilias, Rotalias, Loegias, they all do that with the stem plants. A lot of the stem plants do. Pogostemons. Then you got a Nubius, a nice easy to keep a Nubius. Best thing to do is throw that in a corner. Don't touch it. And wherever this is going or heading, make sure you put that outward. You don't want to put that inwards towards the tank, because then it'll have to reverse itself. Not good for a Nubius to do, but just let them run and crawl their way. This is pearlweed. I actually been making a foreground out of it lately, cutting it and trimming it. It's been real nice because what I'll do, instead of having to worry about all the trimming, is I'll just float it on top here, and it looks nice and clean, creates a marsh. There's actually a bunch of there's some baby fish in there. They love it. I love pearlweed because you can either grow it up top, you can trim it like a foreground, or you can create a bush, or you can even let it sit like moss. Then we got crypts too. This is actually a flamingo crypt, low tech, no CO2, low light, and it seems to be doing the best in this tank than any of the other tanks that I've had it in. Some buches do good, low tech. Lymphnophilia aromatica. We got needle leaf java fern. We've got that Angustifolia hygrophila. Oh, there's that Riccia when it actually grows underneath the water. It's a little thinner, just a little darker, kind of more spread out. Kyle King, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, hi Lucas, put me on the list for 1 or 2 of those panda bettas. Haha, keep up the great work. Awesome, Kyle King, I really appreciate that. And they're growing slowly but surely. Then here I've got an Aereo. It's doing all right underneath low light. It actually lost some leaves, but you can see lots of new growth still coming out from it. I think it might be like growing itself down and just slowly losing its mass and kind of like eating itself and regrowing. Plants will do that. So I think it does need more light under there. We'll see. I need to split that up too. But crypts are always a good choice. These are slow growers getting ready to grow. Actually look like this. That's actually a rare $150 crypt. But these Hutadori, they're fairly cheap. I mean, most places they'll sell them like $30, $40. It gives a lot of texture. I've got them for, I think, 15 or 10 bucks, something like that. But look at that texture on them. Super easy to grow. These tanks have no filter, no CO2, no light. One important thing to do is to feed your plants, though. You definitely want to feed your plants. As plants eat, they get hungry. They have got to eat. Vibe Kaler says, when will you update your site with new for sale items? So my Patreons, they have first dibs, so they were notified first. There are a few things up there now, I can tell you that much. Like this hygrophila, or no, Luigia archeata is on there, and some other things. But anyways, let's see. I'm trying to get to your questions too as I do this. I actually got a lot of the same plants around. Like that's a Hutadori as well. Pearlweed and Riccia growing together. Guppy grass is always a good one. Great for coverage, but that's one everybody talks about. I'm actually getting ready to redo a lot of these plants, and I still got to figure out a lot of that. Oh, here you guys go. Got a new tank, and oop, whoop, whoop, whoop. May look familiar. It sat in the back of my girlfriend's car. Actually, I need to do a whole video about that. I'll tell you guys about that later. Whole story about that. Taiwan lilies, they're really great. They're easy to keep. To propagate them, they'll shoot off long stems. Like they'll start down low, like this one's still kind of low. Then they'll start shooting their stems up. And then as they hit the top, they'll actually propagate more. And you can pick those off. Kind of nice texture, different kind of color to add to an aquascape. Do you feed your plants tetracolor tropical granules? Well, I sort of do. I'm sure they eat off of it a little bit. Subwasser tang, that's a nice one for like a moss. Mosses are good, but sometimes hair algae can be a real pain with those. Mosses and subwasser tang definitely love its calcium and magnesium. Bronze crypts, good choice. Crypts anytime is really a good choice for planet aquarium, easy to keep. Like swords are pretty good, but you need to have some root tabs. Moved the terrarium in here. Some of you guys have been watching me, know about that terrarium. The Bacopa Carolina, that's a good one. Bacopa Moneri, that's a good one. For easy to grow. This Pilomoss, it's one of my favorites, especially for breeding rainbow fish and other egg scatters. But yeah, these are all easy. Like half these filters even run. Like they got some air going through them. This one's trying, but that tank ain't doing much either. It's amazing what some water changes will do around here. I'm excited. I'm gonna be redoing all these tanks. Besides that one, I'm keeping that one. That one's money. That one's good to go. And yes. So here's some gratuitous footage. Some Blue Dreams. And some Velvets. That's the Velvet Coal of the Blue Dreams. Royal Tiger. Rainbow Tiger. I'm going to scroll through chat. If you got a question, now's the time to throw it in there too. Some Blue Dreams. Some Fire Reds. Melissa Virus says, I'm having a hard time getting anything to grow my Eco Complete. I use liquid ferts. How often should I dose? So I actually have been dosing my micros and macros together as my liquid ferts. So it kind of depends on your regimen as well. Like, are you dosing dry ferts? Or are you dosing... is your water too soft? Are you getting GH and in there, like magnesium and calcium? That could be a big difference. That's what this white stuff is you see in the tank. So I use this stuff, Nilo CG, Plantex CSM plus B. That's my micros. And I've actually been dosing these together with my liquid ferts, and I'll show you those here real soon. And then in my macros, I got potassium sulfite. And then I've got potassium nitrate. And I also got the, wait, is that the same? That is the same. There it is. The mono potassium phosphate. That would be in my macros. So what I do with those is I'll show you here real quick. GH booster, that's what I use for the calcium magnesium. Flip you guys down around here and show you what I use for the ferts. And also, if you guys don't want plants, or you do want a planted aquarium but you don't want to buy a bunch of plants, you can always do algae scapes and work with algae, let it do its thing. Water lettuce floaters, that's a good one. This is like all natural. There ain't nothing wrong with that either. When you ask me, that's a beautiful scape. I like it. I like it. But what I use here is these are like what boxers would use or MMA fighters or something. These are 1,000 milliliter bottles. I make my own solution. I think my girlfriend's asleep. She's got the recipe written down, or I would share it with you guys. Maybe one day I'll share that recipe with you guys. And I've actually used to dose like one day, like my macro one day, my micro the other day, alternating. And lately I've been doing both at the same time, and it's actually made a huge difference. For instance, lately I have been finding much more color and growth in my plants. I don't know if that's partially due to the water change. Could be that and in combination with the fert change. But dosing, a lot of people say not to dose your macros and your macros together in the same day. But I have been, and I'm not complaining that I have been, so. Yeah, look at that mulmy goodness. That's what's great about water lettuce, is it catches mulm like crazy. Mulm will grow water lettuce. If you want to clean out a mulmy tank like that too, just slowly just cycle out the water lettuce out it. Little trick on that. Alright, any other questions? Moving to the garage here too. What was the plant with fire red? Some moss. That was some willow moss. That's the giant willow moss. Hold on, Squeakers wants outside. Come on, girl, you want to go outside? Say hi. Meow. Come on, cat. Let's not take forever. It's cold out there too. Brr. One bad thing about winter is I gotta mess with all this condensation. It's a real pain in the butt. Dang humidity. Just do it. Get started. Let it flow. Let yourself go. Slow and low. That is the tempo. Once again, the hygrophila, or no, the Luigia. I keep calling this hygrophila. Luigia arcuata hybrid. These swords, you guys know I have swords. Taiwan lily, that's what it looks more like when it's fluffed up in the ground. CPD tank, CPD tank's actually planted now, so I'll sit in front of this and get to some questions. You guys can check out the CPD tank now that I've got it planted. Hopefully I can keep it this way. Alright, Petco is selling tiger antlers for $3 each in California. What is your thoughts and opinions regarding the subject matter, to buy or not to buy? I have no idea. $3, that's pretty cheap. Zach R. Hey Lucas, I just got into planted tanks. I have some wisteria, small swords and dwarf val, low tech, but have a 45 tall with an older Fluval LED. Should I have issues with low light? I don't know. Are you having issues with low lights? Those plants actually don't mind low light, so you should be alright. And the swords, you may want to use like some kind of root tab or some kind of root feeder. With those dry ferts, if I had the time, I'd actually dose my tanks more with the dry ferts than the liquid ferts, because they'll actually feed the water column and the substrate. But when you do the liquid ferts, it's pretty much just feeding the water column. So root tabs and feeders are great for like your swords and other things. Now my crypts don't seem to mind, but here's some CPDs. I guess you're wanting to see the CPDs. What's your favorite plant to use to breed endlers? I would say pearlweed for sure. If you looked in my main fish room, I got it floating in all of my endler tanks. How many babies can guppies have? I'm not really sure. I guess it depends on the mom and the strain. Do you have any tuxedo guppies for sale? No, I don't at the moment. Let's try to keep this plant oriented, since that's the topic. Lucas, what's your opinion on Fluval Aqua Sky for planted tank? It has white LEDs and a chip due to RGB LEDs. I'm sure it would grow some plants. It can't be too bad being Fluval. Fluval has some decent planted lights. I get them from the Aquascape comps, and I've never had any issue with them. I want a special tank with no square corners, one oval side. Would you recommend to build a 125? I don't know if that's what you want, acrylic tank. That's not plants. Is it too many root tabs a bad thing? I don't know. I haven't tested it, so I couldn't tell you 100. But fertilization, too much fertilization can poison fish. So you gotta be careful not to over fertilize. Now a lot of you guys see the algae in here. For those who haven't watched me, this tank was absolutely nothing but algae but last week. And it was like Friday I actually planted this. I planted this one and the other one on the other side, so I'm super happy about that. Mr. Blair says, my sword is only plant growing good and eco-complete, but I use root tabs for it. Stem plants never survive. I would definitely say try to get some calcium magnesium in there. Also, one other thing is if you got a lot of KH, a lot of bicarbonates, maybe too much lime or too much calcium, what will happen is the calcium and lime will calcify the leaves and it will actually kill and suffocate leaves. So watch out for that. If you get like white stuff growing on your leaves, on like the thicker leaves, you'll really see it. And that's the KH bicarbonates and stuff collecting up on the leaves, and that can be a problem as well that you may be having. Or it could be where you're getting your plants. Maybe you're getting your plants from the store. They're grown out of water. They don't transition well. Some people ship their plants. They don't put enough air in it. It suffocates it, kills the plants like right away. That's like people who ship plants in paper towels. They gotta quit doing that. You gotta leave some air in there. The plants have to live and breathe. If not, you're just suffocating them. So you gotta create like a little ecosystem. What's your rarest plant? You have so many types in all those tanks. I actually have lots of rare plants. It's really hard to choose. I mean, I have a couple that are over $100 each. For instance, up here in the 240, which I'm doing a water change on right now, these cory cats, it's really hard to keep the mold down in this tank. That's the biggest thing I'm fighting. So I may find the cory cats a new home, but I'm also planning on putting another tank down here. Some people may call it a sump, but I'm gonna call it another tank because I'm not gonna turn it into a filter. I'll just keep shrimp down there and they can eat up off that mold and everybody will be happy. I think that's a good solution. And I'll get another tank. 125 long sounds good to me. This dark flame, A-flame sword, that's pretty rare. Probably like 50 plus bucks for that. It's a Guza 2009 sword, that's really rare, 100 plus. I think these tiger crypts, they're kind of rare. The Ferragenia crypt I've got in the all male Endler tank, that's probably the rarest. I love these guys. Lymphnophilia bellum, that's been real easy. Rotalia any, I tell you what, the stem's supposed to be red if I had like better ferts or more mineralization in there. But anyways, this plant grows like crazy mad. And it grows up and out of the water, which is really cool, and I'll show you what that looks like. But that's that Rotalia any too. It's the one that like took over this whole 240. Great stem plant. But here it is actually growing up and out of the water. Whoa, that looks cool with the lights. But it's kind of like rubbery. It's really weird. CPD and plants for breeding, any tips? So here's my breeding tank of CPDs right here. You can't see in there, but there's like the plastic deli cup. And what you want to do is take like some fine stems like this, or just some moss or some water tank, put it in that cup, and then they'll go and breed into that cup. And you pull that out. And I actually got a whole video that teaches you that. If you type in LRB Aquatics CPD breeding or whatever. Whoa. Mark Shepard said, whoa, oh no, my gimbal decided to go to sleep on me, I guess. What is your thoughts on Thrive Fertilizer? I've been using Seachum products for Flourish. Is so diluted. Thrive comes from the same person I get my ferts from, so I'm guessing it's pretty good. I don't use it. I kind of create my own solution. And I will update you guys with that. Maybe I'll do that, share with you guys tomorrow what my plant recipe is. How long have I been into aquariums? As a kid, I always liked aquatics and going outside and messing with aquariums. But I didn't really get into aquariums hardcore until like maybe 14 years ago when I realized you could put plants in them. It wasn't until I realized you could put plants in them that I was absolutely hooked and sold on them. More various types of crypts. There's all kinds of cool crypts out there. That's that Taiwan lily again, and it's propagating like crazy. See the little plantlets, the little roots. You can just pick those off. Water lettuce, that's always good coverage for endlers. Matter of fact, endlers and guppies, if you can stand water lettuce, That's a great one, but it just grows so fast, so you always gotta like pull it out and trash it or sell it. I don't sell it just because it's illegal in some states and it's hard for me to keep track of who's ordering what. I don't have a good system for that quite yet. That is a good plant to breed with a lot of things too. Breeding rainbows, even bettas, all kinds of things. You just don't want it to suffocate the tank. Well, hello guys. Oh, I love this tank so much. Just for your viewing pleasure. Some of you guys were mentioning reflection too. You're like, yeah, you're gonna see reflection in here. I've got so many tanks in here, it'd be impossible for me to turn off all my lights to keep the reflection low on this. But one day I will probably put like some curtains over so I could just slide them over when I do a view. Look at those cherry barbs. Those things are on fire. What's my favorite tank? That's a hard one. I can't pick. I definitely can't pick. Moss, that's a good egg scatterer breeder. You can even pot plants too. You can keep them in potted plant or pots like that, a little deli cup or a clay pot, terracotta pot. Here I got pictas and pseudomugals in here. They're breeding in there and breeding up there. I just flip-flop them over. There's actually babies in here. The pseudomugals are somewhat easy to see because they got blue eyes. Yeah, see the blue eye shining there? Well, yeah, or you can have algae again. Alright. So, Perry Marsh, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. It says, placed an order earlier in the day. Can't wait to get them. I will have that out for you here Thursday morning, actually. And then should have the tracking numbers probably later in the evening or afternoon because I will be in St. Louis giving a talk. You guys are going to be in the Missouri area or even around it, come out and check out Mass Size meeting on Thursday. I will be there giving a talk. Gary Lang hooked it up. But Perry Marsh, thank you so much for the super chat and your order. I really appreciate that. Anthony Yao, rare tetras and resboras. That's not topic here. How are the discus? They're good. I showed them yesterday. But alright, I gotta hop off here. We're already 27 minutes in. I want this to try to save in HD, hopefully, so it ain't all Lego Lucas. And I appreciate you guys all hanging out. Hopefully you guys have learned something. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Maybe a little eye candy for you. And yeah, till next time everybody. Oh wait, don't forget to like. If you ain't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Till next time everybody, peace. Have a good one. I gotta get back to it.